Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Otakuology Podcast. I'm your host, Otaku Mike. With me, as always, is Jin. He might unwillingly or unknowingly sleep with your wife, Graves.
No comment.
No comment. No comment.
Hey, I might not know it's somebody's wife, okay?
But today we are talking about the new show that kind of took the internet by storm. You either love it or you seem to hate it, it seems like.
Right?
We're talking about Lanterns Episode 1, Pilot. They could have come up with a better name than Pilot, right?
Well, you know, most episodes or first ones are called the pilot.
I know.
Yeah. Even though I feel like they really could have leaned into this one because we do get Hal Jordan's backstory of how
the
he
pilot?
was a fighter pilot. Yeah.
He was a test pilot.
Yeah. So, yeah, and the funny thing is, it feels so weird that if you had watched the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern movie, I feel like you would have understood every backstory part they were talking about in this.
Fun fact, I've never seen the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern movie.
Oh, really?
Never.
Yeah. Yeah. I have, so...
Yeah, I never watched it. I was like, I can't get on board with that.
Yeah. Basically, how he explained part of his stuff, I was like, this is kind of on the nose.
I mean, yeah, it is. I mean, they are very faithful to the origin of Hal Jordan. But I feel like this is such a different take on the Green Lantern. It's more of a grounded take, but we still have the science fiction aspect
Yeah.
to this. And I think that's what kind of throws people off a little bit.
Well, and I think a lot of people forget some of the things like how James Gunn really runs his universe.
Yeah.
You know, I think the best part is if we go off the Superman movie where we have the scene where the actor portraying Superman has to do his argument thing with Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, how do I argue this, you know, James? Like, how do I do that? And he tells him exactly like the mindset to be in and all this other stuff. And he goes, you have to realize that Clark thinks he is a human, even though he knows he's a Kryptonian. These are where his values lie. And I think a lot of that echoes in this as well. If you have seen kind of that backstage thing with the Superman movie, that we do have Hal Jordan that has done all this other stuff, but we are seeing a very more human side to him than like just being more of a playboy at times or something like that, you know.
I mean, I feel like they've captured Hal Jordan's essence to a T in this. But let's get into this and talk about it. We start out in 1996.
Yeah, 1996. So we start out where young John Stewart Jr., which
I didn't know he
feels
was
like
a junior.
fucking mouthful. I really wonder. I don't think originally he was a junior, but
I don't know.
I think they added this as a layer on there, which is kind of cool. But we have where he is basically watching like the late night news of an interview with Hal Jordan and kind of how he got the ring, which again, like this whole very first part is something that if you watch the movie, like it very echoes everything that happened in that. And then later on a conversation that he has with Hal.
Yeah.
But he's sitting there watching. He's got his two brothers. He's like, "Hey, I need you to watch to make sure
watch the windows.
Yeah, watch the windows for when Dad comes home.
They're home alone, and then they're supposed to probably be asleep.
Yeah.
You know?
Which I can't tell you out of the stuff that happens, and I'm going to preface this first before we actually cover what happens. I can't actually tell you if John's dad is a good dad or a bad dad.
Yeah, I don't know. Which
I'm very much on the fence. Like I was like, this motherfucker's crazy into like uh you know who it really reminds me
Who?
of that's the scene. It reminds me of the Kick-Ass movie with Hit Girl and
Oh
her dad.
yes, yeah, and Big Daddy.
Yeah, Big Daddy. He's like, "I love you, baby girl. I'm glad that you have your like bulletproof vest on." Pow, and you're like, "Excuse me."
This scene like threw me for a loop because like I'm not a big Green Lantern fan. Like I said, I know like a little about Green Lantern and their history, sort of, you
Yeah,
know. But this seeing John idolize Hal in a sense, I would say when he was younger, and his dad's like, "Oh, what's his name? Do you know his full name?" He's like, "Oh, Hal something or other," and he's like, "Go outside." Where I thought this meant like he's gonna beat the shit out of him for like breaking a rule or something.
I thought he was either going to beat him or I thought he was going to have him do some kind of intense labor.
Yeah,
And they focus on it very hard as John is walking outside. Big John basically picks up an apple from the table.
I thought he was gonna beat him with the apple,
And I was like, what is this going to entail?
which he
What
doesn't. He
is
doesn't
this
do
going
it
to
to any of
entail?
his brothers.
He doesn't, and I think it's because he knows that the brothers were just the lookouts, that the real person that wanted to know this stuff was him. And I'm on the fence though about his dad too, if his dad kind of likes Hal a little bit,
Yeah,
because one of the things that Hal says in his interview is, basically, are you scared?
yeah. Are you
Um,
scared? Which we
and
do get some of his dad later on in this episode too.
yeah,
Which makes me wonder, was he possibly training him to not have fear? Because he seemed to not have any fear when he got caught.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. That's kind of where I'm on the fence about. Was his dad trying to get him trained to do that? Because like you said, nothing happens to his brothers. And so leading into this, he gives John the apple and he walks up to like a shed that they have and he puts the apple on his head. And his dad is, I would say in the military.
Yeah,
He
he's like
could,
he's I think he's part of the Marines
yeah. And,
because John eventually becomes Marine in the comic book.
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
But I wasn't 100% sure just because of his uniform. Looked more
it said on his pocket like U.S. Marine. I think it was.
okay.
Yeah,
I didn't pay that close attention to all of
I
it.
I noticed it the second time I watched half of the episode.
Okay.
Yeah,
Um, but I mean, he's got to be somebody that does something or another because he was strapped with his government issued handgun. And he pulls this out and he kind of like sits there and takes aim at John against this thing and he shoots the apple and it blows up against the shed and little John's just kind of standing there.
and this isn't his first time doing this.
No,
There were
no.
bullet holes in that shed.
Yes. So I mean, like, I don't know how his brothers are, but John is definitely like wheeled in steel, almost. But then here's the weird part, right? Like, it's almost like something weird like that happens, and then if you catch it, because somebody that was watching it with me goes, "What did he just say?" After that, it was, "Let's go get hamburgers,"
Yeah,
and I was like, okay, very much most of this stuff is things that a dad would do. Except for shooting an apple off your kid's head.
I know.
Like this, the weird thing is, I feel like something like that is more like a Green Lantern or a Green Arrow type of thing that would happen. And I'm like, okay, we're in lanterns. This is a little awkward.
Yeah, it was weird. And then we jump surprisingly like to 2016,
Yeah. So we jumped
which
10 years into the future.
if you look at it, like in the Superman movie, Superman showed up 3 decades after, I think it was. So around
Uh,
2016-ish, I think it was.
yeah.
Maybe a little after that. So like Hal Jordan is technically the first superhero on Earth, maybe? Public superhero?
I don't know. I mean, we'll have to wait for more of the universe to be unwrapped, but as far as we know publicly, yes, he is the first superhero that is out and about.
Yeah, and we see John training at Central City Gym. He goes out and we see Hal pull up in a car, and Hal's like, I'm late. John says nothing to him at all. And apparently they've been training for the past 2 months uh, to uh, to get, John to be Hal's replacement. I think it is. Or
Yeah.
backup, I guess it was.
Yeah, it's his underling in in case Hal was to die, then John would get to take up his ring.
Which is interesting because in the books it's Guy, and then Guy gets injured, and then like John is technically the backup of the backup.
Yeah, which is weird, and I'm sure we'll get to it more
Because I think Guy
because
does show up in this season.
he does. If you got to watch any of the trailer thing at the end of the episode,
I didn't get to watch that. I have to go back and watch it, I guess.
yeah, there's that, and then there's like a the cast talks about the scene. So
Okay, okay.
you have where both the actors for Hal and John both talk about like what it was like to work together and what they suspect of the characters.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a cool thing too to follow with that. But yeah, no, Guy shows up at some point and he does start trying to tell John about certain stuff in that little thing. So that'll be funny to see if what you're saying right now is that like maybe Guy was the backup and they did give out another lantern ring.
Hmm.
And then he was kind of like, fuck you, Hal, and defected, and
Yeah. Which I'm gonna say, like, Hal at this moment kind of seems less devoted to the oath that the Green Lanterns have at
yeah,
this point.
he does. He seems very washed up almost.
Yeah, because he's very much older, sort of towards when he became Parallax. It seems like he's a lot more older Hal. Um, and we see them driving, and I forget where they're driving to, but they're talking, and we find out that John hasn't even worn the ring yet, and Hal's like, "Hey, Junior, don't get hung up on the jewelry, blah 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 blah," and he pulls this stunt, and he's like, "Hey, look, you want to wear the ring, wear the ring." And he's like, "Is this a test? I don't know if it's a test or not." He puts the ring on the dashboard and he's like, "Hey, there's a taco stand 3 miles up the road. Meet me there." And he jumps out of the car.
Oh no shit. That
He
was
jumps out of the car,
hilarious.
causing John to go over this cliff and grab the ring just in time to make something, which we'll find out later what he made. And it's interesting because it encapsulates the characters in both the way I feel like they are in the comics. Ha-
I agree.
Hal is such like a brash. I don't know. He's not like a hothead. But he's very brash and very almost reckless, I would say. And
I'd agree so.
John's very like by the book, like looks at everything. Is very meticulous and stuff. So they're very different from each other. And I feel like Hal has sort of a resentment at this point, saying like, "Oh, he doesn't need a backup or a replacement."
Yeah, well, and so that's one of the things that gets brought up in the thing too. They say that you have this weird overarching thing because at one point they are trainee and teacher,
Yeah,
but they also have this other arc overlying thing of person and replacement,
yeah. Because I
and
think,
at other times friends, and so they
mhm.
have these weird like layers of an onion between the two of them that is kind of like, hey, I want to be your friend and I want to train you, but I also don't want you to be my replacement.
Yeah, I'm not giving up my ring, is what he says. My ring,
Yeah.
and lo and behold, John makes it out of this car crash, and a construct from 10 years ago of Hal Jordan shows up and starts talking to him. I love the little reference because it's a reference to like a certain Green Lantern issue, I think it is, where he's wearing like the like the bomber jacket thing.
Yeah.
And he's talking to him. He's like, "Oh, you're a lot nicer than you are 10 years later." And he's like, "Oh man, what did I do? I'm sorry. I did something to hurt you or something." And he's like, stuff is going on in Rushville, is it Nebraska?
Yeah, he says hail is falling in Rushville, Nebraska.
Yeah, which you're like, okay, and they get to the taco shop. Hal is getting,
Which which is really weird. Like when you think about it, when that was from 10 years ago,
huh?
that would have been basically almost the same time in the same year
Uh,
that he had that interview.
mm,
That was what got John interested in becoming the trainee Green Lantern.
I didn't realize that
Yeah.
because if you find out that Lanterns are supposed to upload their consciousness like weekly, I think it is.
Yeah, they're supposed to do like weekly reports. That way, if they ever die, their rings are able to give the feedback of stuff.
And so they get John gets to the taco shop and Hal's kind of mobbed by these people at the taco shop and people are wondering where his costume is. We find out his costume is actually physical, which that is a thing from the comics. Sometimes his costume is physical. I know people were kind of upset that his costume wasn't, but I like the look of his costume that we've gotten so far.
Yeah, well, and it's a lot different than guy's costume. Like,
Yeah. It reminds me of the Earth One Hal Jordan costume. If you ever seen that, it's very like I don't want to say like militaristic almost.
yeah,
It doesn't look like it's just plastered CGI'd on. It's a physical suit type of
yeah.
thing. But yeah, he gets there and he's like, "Oh yeah, I talked to your construct from 10 years ago," and he's like, "Oh, what do you say?" He said, "There's hail in Nebraska."
Yeah.
But I
And
love,
and the guy at the taco place is like, here's a free dessert, and he gives him like a basket full of churros.
yeah,
And after John tells him what this construct does, he goes, "All right, like basically give me the ring back." And he takes it, and he just flies off. He like pay for the food, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? Because it almost seems like every time John is in a position where he catches up to him, Hal always runs off.
yeah, yeah. But I love the fact we find out that John makes bubble wrap to save himself.
Yes, yeah,
Which, if you know anything about the comics, John is very like he is very like deliberate on what kind of construct he makes
yeah,
because he's also an architect. After he got out of the Marines, he became an architect, and Hal is very basic in his constructs, like a pair of pliers, a boxing glove. Nothing too like over the top, I would say. In this, he makes a
I
bottle
don't know.
opener.
Yeah, he makes a bottle opener and he does a $20 bill,
Yeah, which
which
we'll get to that.
which I'm kind of wondering though, because like the him in the other movie, he does kind of have a more playful side. I feel like two different things, like that. Like at one point, he needs to go somewhere fast, and he actually looks like it makes like a life size Hot Wheels car.
Yeah,
So I'm kind of waiting to see how much more like bleed over we'll have, and what's the difference of what people pick as their constructs, because like when you add both these guys and then you add like guys constructs and stuff to it,
yeah,
it is very weird how you get three different types of people and how they think. Like, if all of them were in the car and they all fell off, what all would they pick?
yeah, yeah. No, I really liked how they showed the constructs
Yeah.
in this. I thought it was really well done.
Yeah, and I think they use like minimal CGI,
Hmm.
because parts of the other thing, like the $20 bill, I would say is the only one that,
It looks wonky.
the whole time it looked like a construct,
Yeah.
but like the bottle opener looked like after it was formed, like they painted an actual bottle opener
Yeah.
to with like some kind of like really cool paint, you know. Um, there's something else that he makes too at one other point.
John makes a lighter at one point.
Well, he makes the ring light up to be a
Yeah, he
lighter,
makes
but
like a car lighter almost with
yeah,
the ring. It's kind of cool.
yeah, which
we'll
yeah,
get, we'll get to that.
we'll get to
We'll
that.
get to that.
But yeah, and then like John, you see him, which coming back from a con, like I felt this really hard in my soul.
His 6 hour
John,
trip.
John going through a 6 hour chip of ordering a ticket like off the bat, going through TSA, getting checked out, getting on the plane, coming to Nebraska, having to rent a car to go find Hal, and you're just like really?
Yeah, and he
First,
goes.
first you made him pay for your food.
Yeah,
Now you're making
you
him go
almost
do all this
killed
little
him.
crap. Yeah,
Like, what are you gonna do now? And I really liked it because I was like, where are we going with this? Like
yes,
I was very much like, okay, where are we going with this story?
yeah,
And we get to something that's pretty cool, I feel like. So they end up going to the football field of this small town, and John gets there and he's like kind of surveying things around. Hal's been there for 6 hours just watching things,
yeah,
and he gets there. John does, and he's like, "Why haven't you done anything about this? You've been here for 6 hours just sitting watching." He's like, "Because that person over there." He points to the sheriff, which the sheriff and him have some history. It seems like
have some qualms.
qualms because you don't know it. I don't know if they said it in the show,
Yeah,
but this is the place where Hal got his ring.
right, right.
Like this is where he first gets the ring from Abin Sur in this town. And she's like, "Oh, you don't have the jurisdiction here unless it's like cosmic alien stuff. This is just was it? It's not. It's not interstellar. I think she said it was."
Yeah, yeah,
And he's like surveying stuff. He's like, "Okay." He asks John, "What do you see?" And he starts surveying the land, the lay of the land, and he sees this one guy because there was a mass shooting at the school
yeah,
on a football game or whatever, mass shooting. There's this one guy basically kind of lurking around, and Hal notices this already. And John's like, "We got to go get him." And Hal's like, "No, let's not spook him. It'll be okay." A chase ensues,
oh yeah,
and I was like, "Oh, okay, like this is what we're doing." And it was a pretty funny scene, seeing them run through the school at
yeah,
high speeds. Luckily, John like sort of doubles back and kind of gets him. He gets him, and they get this guy in jail. Hal wants to talk to him. Hal's not allowed to talk to him. So what does Hal do next, Jen?
they go to a bar and basically this counterfeit or made by Will $20 bill is put into a jukebox machine that Hal has basically put in for it to play the same song over and over again to get some of the other rednecks in Nebraska heated about stuff.
This part was really fucking funny.
Yeah. So
I loved it.
he ends up this is where John gets to ask Hal like how exactly like off the books, how exactly did you get your ring? And we get this kind of story of, oh yeah, I got it like not like every other guy, I didn't become an intern basically um to get it, I got it a much harder way. And he kind of tells him the exact story of how everything happens, and he got it right here in the town and all this other jazz, which is really weird, especially after we talked about it, like the 10-year gap that when John put the ring in. Just so happens that something in this town happens where the message from John or from Hal 10 years ago pops on for something that is happening now.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a weird coincidence, I feel like.
Yeah, it's a
Uh,
weird quiz because Hal doesn't remember it at
yeah.
first.
But I'm kind of wondering if somehow Hal did know because, and I'm going to jump forward a little bit here, but I'm not going to touch on anything. We do have a time skip after 2016 where we are in present day 2026 and something else has happened here. So I'm
Yeah.
wondering if every 10 years something is supposed to happen in this little town regarding what's happened with the ring possibly.
That's
Um,
interesting. That's interesting to think about.
yeah. So, but jumping back to 2016, we have that. We have where basically Hal hands the ring back over. He goes, I'm going to get locked up with this guy so I can question him. Nobody will be able to turn me down because I'll be in the jail cell with him. And he does that. And he goes, and this is one of the parts I love. He goes, I may be over here and it may look like I'm getting my ass kicked, but don't jump in to help me. It'll be okay. I'll handle it.
Yeah. He gets his ass kicked.
He gets his ass kicked, and it's hilarious because while that's happening, you do get this little side story of, well, not a side story, but you do get this little happening of where John is talking to this lady at the bar, and they're just talking about all this different stuff and how he's a space ranger basically, and or a space cop, and what else is going on, and your friend over there is getting his ass kicked for, I don't know, XYZ, and all this other stuff. Well, the police come in, and I guess at some point, which I didn't see it, Hal hit an officer to go in, and so they take him away, and this lady kind of starts getting up and asks John, "Hey, would you like to walk me to my car?"
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And he has relations with this woman.
yeah,
This older woman, I would say.
that we don't know as of yet.
I think she's a little bit older. I think
I
she's
think
pro.
I think she is a little older than him, but then we find out how much older later on. Um, yeah, she basically sleeps with John and everything. And he lights her a cigarette, and she finds out he's not as like this big stoic, um, by the book person as he's kind of presented to us this far.
Yeah, and the next day he wakes up, he goes to the police station. He's like, okay, where is he? They didn't put him in with the guy. They put him in the
The broom
closet,
closet. The broom closet.
the broom closet.
So he has been locked in the broom closet this entire time, which is fucking hilarious.
Oh yeah,
Because you thought that he was going to get to go in there and basically question this guy, and it didn't
yeah, yeah. No, most definitely.
happen.
Um,
So that happens. Then he basically has like a court appearance that happens right after that. And the judge clocks how many times he says, "Come on, judge," and ends up charging him and isn't going to let anything happen until a lawyer guy walks in and says, I'll represent him. Don't worry about it.
his name's Billy. Billy. Oh, what's his last name?
Billy Macon.
Billy Macon. Yes. And we find out that he gets off on these. I think he gets off on the charges, right?
Yeah, he gets off all the charges as long as he pays for it, and he's not allowed to leave town yet.
Yeah, and we find out that Billy Macon's dad wants to have dinner with the great Hal Jordan.
Yep.
There's strings
Will
attached to this
Macon.
money.
Will Macon.
Will Macon, there's strings attached to this money. And he's like, okay, yeah, I'll have some barbecue with you. So
Yeah.
him and
And
Hal
we also find out that Billy's wife is
is
the officer.
yes, is Karen?
Yep.
Karen Kane, yes.
Yeah.
Which we find out this family kind of runs the entire town.
Yes.
Like they're a ranch, like big mogul. Like
Yes. And if you've ever seen season 2 of Fargo,
I would say,
that
kind of like Yellowstone. I
that is
would,
exactly how, well, in Fargo they have the same thing, but
yeah,
there's like a militia that is on the land.
yeah, which is weird because they talk about this and they're like, yeah, what's with all this militia? Like, what do you need all this stuff for, like the FBI coming to get you? Like, what's going on?
My thing is, and I have to question one thing, and I really want to know if this thing is there while they were shooting or was it put there when they were shooting the show, because I'm sure there's not somebody that sits at the front. I'm sure the guys that were the guards at the front gate were there because of the TV show.
Yeah.
Um, because, and this is one thing, and when you hear it, you're gonna be like, Jacob, that's such a weird thing to pick out. There's a deer stand that's right in the middle of the field, and if there were guards there 24/7, there would be no reason to have a deer stand in that location.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Because, and that's why I'm wondering if it was there already, and that the family that actually owns the land was like, hey, we'll just leave it there, like, don't worry about it. Because
Mm.
if you're making that much noise, what deer is going to walk even close to the front gate?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So it really threw me off that there was a deer stand sitting so close to the front gate, and I was like, that can't be like a possible thing for this show. Like, surely not.
I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. But it made me laugh on that because like I said, I've been deer hunting before, so just knowing some of that stuff, I was like, all right, this is a little different here. That wouldn't be the same, but it was fun. But we get to follow them as they drive back, and again, like every corner we go, we got the guards at the front. You have a group of guards that are kind of on the other side of the front gate. There's two of them out, and then there's, I think, six on the inside. They start driving down. There's like almost like a small trailer park in one area that I think you have like another six guys coming out. You have a firing range that has, I think, eight guys at it. We get up to a point where there's a gate where there's two guys riding up on horses that look like they have almost like shotguns.
Yeah,
Um,
he's
I
got
mean,
his own personal army.
yeah. And then he comes up to this house that looks like a little quaint house, and you're just kind of like, Jesus, look at all this shit that's everywhere.
Yeah, like what do you need all this shit for?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's crazy. And we find out after we find out that uh Karen's married to Billy and stuff like that, and they're all like related or whatever. Um, and we meet Will, big Will or whatever. I don't know, you know,
It just will.
just Will.
Yeah,
Uh,
Will Macon.
Will Macon, and he is like very interested in Hal for some reason. Hal and John, and I wonder why exactly he was so interested in them.
Yeah, because he's got a lot of stuff where he's like, I had to sign NDAs. I can't talk to you about
I
this.
can't talk to my job, where I
I can't tell
work.
you about anything. I can't tell you about my employer. He goes, I'm just kind of babysitting the ranch, which is weird. I kind of feel like there is somebody that's over him, but you wouldn't be a caretaker of the place and then act like you run the place.
Yeah,
Just wouldn't happen that way.
yeah.
Um, which I also want to know, there was a part um, whenever Billy gets Hal kind of off,
Hmm.
um, that Hal says that John is a vegetarian,
Yeah,
and they get him tofu.
yeah. They get him
And
tofu.
I really want to know if John John is one of those people or not, because if not the act of him probably putting on having to eat the tofu and everything is probably a little different. I mean, it's probably not that big of a thing, but it does coincide with back in 1996 where he said like, "Hey, let's go get a hamburger."
Yeah, let's
Like,
go get a hamburger.
I mean, I guess they still could technically be veggie burgers, and he just
I
said
don't know.
hamburger. But
I don't. Did they have veggie burgers back in '96? I don't know.
I'm sure, I don't know, but it just really threw me off that Hal said that, and then it was like a running joke through the rest of it, and I was like, I don't think John's really a
But
vegetarian.
it's interesting that he knew who Hal Jordan was, obviously, because he's a celebrity. But he knew who John was.
Yeah, he knew who John
He
was. He knew some of the stuff because I feel like the family talked about a lot of stuff. Some things we didn't exactly know until later on.
hmm
But like Billy told Will obviously things and some of the other stuff. The only person that really seems like they didn't talk a lot was Karen.
Yeah, and they have a nice dinner, stuff like that, and they're getting ready to leave, and we find out that Will might know that John slept with his wife.
Well, and we get the thing right before that where we did meet the son, Noah, and then he walks up as Noah is practicing throwing the football, and we get this really good line from John. He goes, "You're aiming," and Noah's kind of like, "What?" He goes, "You're aiming. Just don't even worry about it. Like, basically, shut your eyes and throw the ball. Don't even think about it." And he does it, and he throws perfect screwball or whatever throw through this tire that he's got hanging there. And we've heard, we're going to go help your grandma here and there on different things. And we hear Noah go, "Oh, grandma." And who walks up but this
Grandma.
lady that John slept with the night before?
Which the realization on his face was hysterical.
Oh,
It was funny.
so how really old is this lady if she's somebody's grandparent?
Yeah, no, that was funny. Like the shock on John's face is like, oh, hey, how's it going?
And again, I wasn't thinking she was that much older than him, but then when we did this whole thing where we found out she was somebody's grandma, I was like, oh my god, she might be a lot older than we think.
Yeah. And so we end up at the next day where they do actually get to interrogate.
Oh, I did have one other question for you.
Okay.
I'm wondering too if the Makins are actually aliens themselves at all,
Oh.
because there's one thing that stuck out to me that was really weird, right? When they were in the kitchen and Will is kind of talking to everybody, Hal says something to him at one point, and Will calls him boy.
Oh.
And I was like, well, they're technically like they both look like they should be about the same age. But if Will is older than Hal and his wife looks as young as she does, I'm really wondering if there is something and it's more of an intergalactic war that they're trying to rally these other people by like putting a face on, so
But
to speak.
here's the thing.
Yeah.
Why would Hal not know they were aliens?
Um
Because he is very much for the guy who did the shooting was an alien, or possibly did the shooting was an alien.
yeah. I I would like to argue that they didn't rehearse their part.
Oh, okay.
I think that's really what kills this other guy off is his part was rehearsed. Um,
Which I want to get to this part. This
which
part was
who would have fucking thought that Hogwarts would have undid somebody? Who knows? Um, yeah, but Will, Hal talks to Will too at some point, and he goes, "Hey, like I would like to talk to this guy, but Karen's basically blocking us right now." He goes, "Oh, that's easy. That's basically like snuffing out an old hay fire or something." he's like, I can pull some strings and have that done, which is where we get to the next day. And they are late because I think they were supposed to be there at 9 and they got there later.
I think so. I don't know.
And he does get to interrogate this guy.
Yeah, and he goes to interrogate him. Before that, we find out that Hal's like, yeah, I think this guy's an alien. And they're like, no, he can't be an alien. He's like, but aliens can shapeshift. And Karen's like, aliens can shapeshift? Like, what do you mean? Like, apparently 14 or 13 different types of aliens can turn into different things.
Yeah, and they can go around our tests.
Yeah. And
That's one of the things.
so Hal goes to talk to him. He's like, you like football, blah, 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 this and that. Starts like sort of grilling him and talking about football because he's a big football fan. This guy is
Nebraska football history.
Yeah, and he drove 2 hours away just to go watch this game. And this guy only really knows football facts like he's reading off of a Wikipedia page
Oh
almost.
yeah, I was wondering if he had like some kind of like almost thing behind his eyes or something that he was like getting that information fed to him,
Yeah.
because it does seem like it's rehearsed as shit. Like,
Yeah. And Hal starts going a little off script and be like, oh, do you know like Kim Kardashian? Where does Harry Potter go to school? And he's like, what? What are you talking about? Do you know who Barack Obama is? And he's like, Barack Obama's the president of the United States.
yeah,
And
which
he's like,
I do love this part where Hal tells him, he goes, so you're from basically like bumfuck Nebraska, and you don't have more of an opinion on Barack Hussein Obama?
yeah. Which on point, just saying.
Yeah,
On point.
I don't know very many people from Nebraska, but I was very much like, are you telling me that a lot of people strongly have
Opinions
problems with?
on Barack Obama
Yeah,
from who are in Nebraska? I mean, yeah.
yeah,
And he goes after him like, where did Harry Potter go to fucking school? It was fucking Hogwarts.
yeah.
And he starts attacking him, and we hear this beeping sound.
Well, he does let it slip.
Yeah.
Remember
Oh yeah,
where
he does.
he
Sorry, yeah, he does. He lets it slip, and we do find out that he's an alien.
and he's like, if I was an alien, allegedly,
Yeah.
and
Which
he's got some kind of advanced thing because he was like, you have a cyanide pill or something. He goes, no, I allegedly have um a bomb device attached to my skeletal structure that could possibly take out the entire town, allegedly.
yeah, and it's interesting how like his entire tone changes at this point. I
Yes.
would say. And like this gave me very much Men in Black vibes at this point.
Oh, it gave me Men in Black vibes, just them standing there at the football field. That's what I was going to say earlier, and we kind of went past it, but I was like, eh. But yes,
Yeah.
it very much gave me like Men in Black vibes on um, that John is basically Agent J and
And yeah,
Hal is
K
Agent
yeah,
K.
Agent K, yeah. Which is this was a really cool scene. Like he attacks the guy, they find out the guy starts actually beeping, and Hal makes like this barrier around the guy to stop the bomb. And like it blows up, but like the shockwave goes like through the barrier,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like you hear like this ringing sound across the town. It was a really cool scene
yeah.
because I was like, how are they going to get
Which
out of this?
the other crazy thing is the guy on point is like, well, how much have you used your ring?
Yeah,
Are you sure you have enough? You didn't bring a power battery with you to recharge your ring. How much, is that going to really protect you? And then he was like, it kind of feels like you would really like to die, Hal, not as like a threat, but like how Hal kind of carries himself. And this is one thing that I will strongly disagree with you that you said at the beginning.
Okay.
uh, on how seeming like he doesn't care about being a Green Lantern. It seems like he doesn't care about all of the morals of the Green Lantern.
Well, that's what I was kind of getting at.
But whenever the guy starts mockingly saying the oath,
Yeah, I know
I
it gets under
I
his
think
skin.
it completely pisses Hal off
Yeah.
because that's the creed that he's lived by, for the past 20 years. Well, I guess 10 years at this point. Um, for the past 10 years, so I think that there is something more there, um, that with how he is kind of really much focused on the oath, but not so much, let's just face it, like the Guardians. I don't think he cares that much for the Guardians.
No, he doesn't. And like in the books, like Hal is very much at odds with the Guardians on multiple occasions.
Yeah,
Like he goes against them on multiple occasions. He doesn't really care for them all that much. Because like in the Green Lantern lore, the rings always choose the bearer, you know. But with John, it didn't end up like that. John was chosen by the Guardians. The
Guardians. Yeah,
Guardians. And I think that's really what pissed Hal off the most. Is he like one, he's being replaced. But he doesn't think that he's ready to be replaced. And like the ring didn't choose him, so why even take this guy on as a student, and train him?
right.
Um,
Which again, like you brought up earlier, I really wonder how Hal is treating John is because of Guy.
maybe. I don't know.
We're not there yet. We don't know, but I kind of wonder if there is something, or was there a reason why Guy left in the first place, and it couldn't have been because of Hal.
Yeah.
So we kind of have multiple dynamics here that maybe Guy just wasn't strong enough to handle Hal's assault of things when John is.
I mean, yeah, John seems to be able to take everything that Hal throws at him, regardless of how ridiculous it is. And they seem to have somewhat respect for each other, it seems like.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's interesting their dynamic
yeah.
because they're
I
go
I definitely would like to know what John's opinion would have been like with the interview with the camel toe. So
oh yeah, yeah. On the White Rabbit.
yeah,
Uh but yeah, and we leave that and then we something interesting happens, which I was not expecting whatsoever. We jump to current day. Were you expecting this at all?
I was not.
We get to current day where we see John. He has his classic goatee look. He looks a little older. In 2026, he's driving in the snow. He goes back to Rushville, Nebraska. We meet
Yeah,
Carrie. We find out that Carrie's son, Noah, is now, I think, on the varsity
yeah, I think so.
football team. And he's like, who else knows about this? And like the groundskeeper and us, basically. And we get the big revelation that Hal Jordan is dead.
Yeah, which is really crazy because John actually is still able to move him.
Yeah, he like kind of dusts off his hand and to see if his ring is there, but it's not there. If you look on John's hand, he doesn't have a ring, and that's
Yep,
where that's where episode ends.
yep. It is very weird, and I'm wondering how much it will go because it almost looked like he was able to like flex him. And if Hal had been sitting there for so long, you would have thought that he would have had rigor mortis set in.
Maybe
So I'm kind of wondering how exactly a lot of that is taking place in
the
this.
the internet seemed to freak the fuck out when they found out Hal was dead.
Yeah,
Like, but here's the thing: I feel like we're going to be telling two stories in this season.
No, I think we're going to be telling three.
Three? Oh, okay.
I
The
I think I think we're going to jump back to 1996.
uh-huh.
Because I will tell you there is a little quick thing that we do see a pink guy.
Oh, you're talking about
I don't know if it's Sinestro
Sinestro?
though. I don't know if it's Sinestro or Abin Sur.
Okay.
But if you watch like the after part where they do like this other like trailer thing for it,
Mm-hmm.
there is a pink guy. They don't really show the suit though, so you can't really tell is it a Sinestro thing or is it
Abin Sur.
Abin Sur. So I'm wondering if it is Abin Sur and we will get something back in 1996 that will explain a little more of while Hal Jordan in 1996 up it for 10 years, like how he kind of became more of the asshole.
Yeah.
And then the storyline that we get for 2016 and how all that happens. And then this tasty little bit of what's going to happen current day in 2026.
Yeah. No, like I I was already hooked, by the when we got to like the alien stuff.
Yeah.
But the mystery of who the fuck killed Hal Jordan, if he's even dead. I mean, we did see a body, but like having John find this person who possibly killed Hal and have it
Yeah.
being connected to everything else.
Yeah. And well, and let me throw this out to you for one thing. I wonder, I wonder if we're getting geared up for after something that we are going to have a because I haven't watched Supergirl yet, so I don't know that stuff yet. But I wonder if we are gearing up towards possibly a Lantern movie or Lantern esque movie
Hmm.
that will be Darkest Night,
Oh, Blackest Night?
Blackest Night, yeah.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Because uh, what if there will be a spin on that where Hal was the one that died instead of what was the Lantern at the time that died in that?
Oh, I don't remember. A lot of them died.
Yeah,
A
but
lot of them died in that.
that's kind of a. I wonder if we will gear up for anything like that.
Yeah, I'm very curious. I know we see Sinestro for sure.
Yeah,
Like, Sinestro is going to be in this show. The Manhunters are going to be in this show, which those are a whole nother thing. But will we see any of the other lanterns? Like the
I,
like
I
the
know Guy.
like the alien lanterns.
Yeah, I
Like
know Guy.
like Kilowog.
I don't know. I know we will see Guy, and I
Yeah.
know we will see a Guardian.
Yeah.
They're not blue, but we will see a Guardian
Okay.
that uh that does not look like a blue dwarf guy.
And will we get into like space stuff? I'm
I don't
curious.
know. I
I,
don't.
I think this is going to be a fairly grounded series, which I think this is a very interesting take on.
Yeah, yeah,
Because to have it be almost similar like the Ryan Reynolds movie, I feel like is a little too much. And I think we needed that like drastic change
yeah,
of having like a down to earth buddy cop action adventure space thing, you know?
yeah.
Like I thought this was a solid first episode.
I agree.
I liked both the actors who were playing John and Hal. Like they bounced off each other very well.
Yes, yes.
I feel like this is a show you're definitely gonna want to watch a couple of times.
Probably
No, I get it. I understand why people are upset. Like, oh, this is not my lanterns or whatever. But we got to think about this. It doesn't have to be a one for one translation of the comics. They're picking
is
and choosing what they want.
is any lantern your lantern?
I like John.
That's what I would say. Is any lantern your lantern?
Yeah,
Because like comic book JLA is a completely different one than like Justice League in the TV show, where we do have John as our Green
yeah.
Lantern.
John was my Green Lantern
Yeah,
because of the show. And I like that he's getting a spotlight in this, but I also like seeing Hal. Hal is probably, in my opinion, one of the most least interesting lanterns out of all of them, in my opinion. But he always gets the spotlight. He always gets the spotlight. But we put this nice twist on the characters and kind of develop its own thing, pulling from the different lores, the different
Yeah.
universes, stuff like that.
Well,
We still get all the references and stuff.
and one other big thing that's in this, like you said, like we don't exactly know if he's dead, because think about it, like what was one of the things that was said already in the show in the same episode is that there's 18 different races that we know that can basically bypass like all of the electronic stuff that we have, x-ray, blood tests, like the
Yeah.
whole 9 yards. And let's not fret on this, but there is another show that you and I have enjoyed that had a fake body in it that somebody stuffed full of wool, and they wouldn't let people get close enough to it to really know if that was true or not. Now, mind you, this is a little more sophisticated than that, but
So
if Stranger Things could fool people,
at
Green
one
Lanterns for sure fucking can.
at one point in the DC universe,
Yeah.
after Hal became sort of evil and infected with parallax, the fear like
Yeah.
embodiment or whatever it was, I forget what it's like, the embodiment of the Yellow Lanterns.
Yeah. Parallax.
Yeah. How I think it was after that. Hal becomes the fucking Spectre at one point.
I think I remember that.
Hal becomes the right hand of God, or the hand of God, the hand of vengeance, basically. And if they pulled that off in this,
Oh, Jesus.
hypothetically,
Oh, Jesus. I don't know.
Hal Jordan is still alive.
Yeah. Who knows? I mean,
If he's
there's a
the,
lot of different lores that could happen.
if he's the Spectre, I mean, come on now. But yeah, no, I'm curious. Are we gonna get different lanterns? Maybe get some red lanterns in this. I don't know. I know they're gonna focus on the Manhunters quite a bit, so we might just get those. Um,
Yeah. No, I would say we're probably not going to get any other colors as of yet,
yeah,
unless we get yellow.
no, I definitely feel like we're gonna get yellow.
I definitely don't think we'll get red unless we do jump into a season 2 or something that is Blackest Night, where then we would obviously have to have like a living Hal Jordan unless something happens where he does take on like the Red Ring and part of the other ones and things like that, and becomes a White Lantern at one point, like, so, because I know Hal Jordan's pretty pivotal in that.
So let me ask you, what did you rate this?
Um, I did not sleep with anybody's wife.
I did not have sexual relations with that man's wife.
You might, but you don't mind eating meat off another man's grill. Man, when he said that, I was like, damn, I can't believe that. He said it to you barbecue style. Solid episode. I'd say that this is probably a 5 out of 5 for me.
It was good. It was good. I also have to give it a 5 out of 5. Like, I was pleasantly surprised, and that twist at the end, I was fucking hooked.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the twist at the beginning with getting an apple shot off his head.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Which I think his relationship with his dad is gonna play more into the series. He
probably.
calls his dad at
Probably.
one point. And he's like, "You got to get this job. This job is yours." Basically,
You got it. Remember, you don't get mad.
Yeah, you don't get mad. You got this.
Yeah. And that's what I'm waiting for, is when is he gonna get mad?
Yeah.
Like, obviously it's been holding back, but when will he get mad?
Yeah,
Because it's gotta happen.
the acting was solid. The special effects with what little we saw was solid.
Oh, I just want to know, when you watch the end of the thing, wait till you hear the guy's regular accent that's playing John. It's gonna throw your ass through a loop.
Is he like British?
Yeah, he's I think Southern British.
Okay.
Like, he's got a completely different accent, like, and it throws me off. like especially because of the Spider-Man trailer for the well, not the trailer, but where he did the interview where the guy's like, "Well, why are you putting on a British accent now? You know what? Talk like Peter Parker." Um like that was running through my head when he started talking. I was like, "Oh shit." You know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about?
Oh, I forgot what I was saying. I forgot what I was gonna say.
You, you love the show?
Oh yeah, I loved it. Solid acting, solid. This episode made me love Hal Jordan as a character.
Yeah.
Like I'm a Hal fan now. I'm also a John fan always. Uh,
Always.
but it just left me wanting more. And I like that it was like a true detective, like Men in Black style story.
Yeah,
Like
it exactly.
it's gritty, it's realistic to an extent. We still get space aliens, and we still got the rings, so like it's cool. I know people are a little upset that there was a lot of glowy stuff in the trailers. We get glowy action in this, and I feel like this it's setting up for some pretty cool things.
Yeah. And I mean another thing is I don't think people can really be like too upset because like people get upset about all this stuff. People got upset about the Superman movie, people have been upset about Creature Commandos, people have been upset about
Peacemaker.
Peacemaker. I mean, people have been upset about all this other stuff, but the fun thing is that we're getting to kind of relive this world that James Gunn has kind of like come up with, and he's passed the mantle to other people that he trusts. And to get to have like an alternate storyline of some of these things with other heroes and villains that we know, I think is a very fun ride to get like a fresh look at it and be able to enjoy it with the ties that we already have. So anyone that's really like laying down like a lot and going, "Oh, I'm so upset about this" or whatever, or, there's a lot of other stories that worse has happened. So,
Yeah, like
uh,
this is a good fucking start.
yeah,
It's
this was
better.
a
It's
good
better than a CGI suit.
this was a good pilot. Okay.
It's a good pilot. Ah.
But anyway, guys, you can catch me at Bard's Tavern on Instagram. You can also catch me at Manga Restart on Instagram, and a lot of other places as well. You can also catch me everywhere that Otakuology is. Especially, you can do the same for Mike in that, but you can also catch Mike at the Otaku Mike in all places that you can find the Otaku Mike. um, sorry, I got choked up. I did it all in one breath, and I was like, I don't have no more air. Um, but anyway, guys, yeah, let us know what you think about this. Obviously, we
Oh
really
yeah.
enjoyed it. And it was great. If you didn't, fuck you.
Whoa,
We'll,
whoa, whoa.
we'll still love you,
We'll
but
still
fuck you.
love you, but we'll listen and judge you slightly.
It's one of those kindly fuck off. Uh, but anyway, guys, thanks for listening. And as always, we'll see you next Tuesday.
Peace out, bitches.